Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bible. This is the one book that dares to predict the future, not once, not twice, but hundreds of times with 100% accuracy. The Bible tells us in the last days certain things are going to happen. And friends, we're seeing those things happen before our very eyes. The Bible says that the Jewish people, who are God's chosen people, would be scattered to the four corners of the earth. And then as a sign of the end times, and specifically telling us, you know you're in the last days when this happens, the Bible said that that same group of people, the Jews, who would be scattered, would be regathered. And on May 14th, 1948, Bible prophecy was fulfilled before our very eyes. And a prophetic time clock began to click because that is the day Israel became a nation. Then the Bible said not only would Israel be regathered in her land, but that she would be surrounded by enemies and that she would be attacked from her north by a large force identified as Gog and Magog. When you look to the north of Israel today, you find Russia. Many Bible commentators believe that Magog is a reference to Russia. But look at what is happening right now in the Middle East. We have Israel under attack. Of course, on October 7th, she was attacked and 1,400 Israeli citizens were slaughtered, murdered, some decapitated, some burned alive. And then another 239 were taken hostage. And now we have a new potential conflict developing again on the north of Israel with this group Hezbollah. Hezbollah is financed by Russia. Russia's like the puppet master working through Iran, working through Hezbollah and Hamas and their hostility against Israel. I just read an article that said the Wagner Group, a Russian state-funded army, is providing Hezbollah with sophisticated anti-aircraft weapons. One article described Hezbollah as the monster of the north of Israel, coming against her, threatening to attack her. Now, after Hamas attacked Israel, the leader of Hamas came out and made this statement, and I quote, "The existence of Israel is what causes all the pain, blood, and tears. It is Israel, not us. We," he says, "are the victims of the occupation." So says the man who's in charge of the terrorist organization that slaughtered innocent people. You see how wicked this whole thing is. Now, here's where it gets interesting for the Bible student. Back to the Bible predicting the future. In Ezekiel 37, the Bible tells about Israel being regathered in the last days. Ezekiel 38 talks about Magog attacking her. One of the allies of Magog is called Persia. In 1935, Persia changed her name to Iran. Now, how can Israel make peace with people that want her total destruction? We hear of a two-state solution, but Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran have all openly said they want the complete destruction of Israel. So we say, well, they need to have a ceasefire. Israel needs to stand down. Okay, let's extrapolate this out and compare Israel and America. Take the size of our nation compared to Israel and put it in this context. Let's just say that you woke up tomorrow and found out that 48,000 Americans had been slaughtered, murdered, beheaded, and that another 8,000 plus were taken as hostages. What would America do? Would we say, well, we'll just stand down? Well, I don't think so. Look at what happened in the aftermath of Pearl Harbor or in the aftermath of 9/11. We struck back. We have to defend our nation. And so that's a dilemma that people of Israel find themselves in right now. But here's the other interesting thing. So after this force known as Magog, which could be Russia, attacks with their ally Persia, which is Iran, the Bible says that God is going to destroy the majority of this army and he's going to pour his spirit out on the people of Israel. So a great spiritual awakening is coming for the Jewish people. So in the meantime, we are to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, but also try to understand what's happening in that part of the world. There was a march on the White House just the other day of 100,000 people chanting slogans like, death to Israel, and from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Understand what that means. What they're saying is that we want a Palestine, if you will, that has no Israel, that has no Jewish people. This is anti-Semitism at its very worst. We as Christians need to understand that the Bible tells us that the Jews are God's chosen people. We as Christians need to understand that God gave the so-called land of Palestine to the Jewish people, to Israel, which they have occupied in perpetuity for 3,000 years, not always ruling it, but they've been there in that land that God gave them. And we need to understand that we should be praying for them because God gave us the Bible through the Jews. God gave us our Messiah as a Jewish man. And so the Bible says, God speaking, I will bless those that bless you. Speaking of the Jewish people in Israel, I'll curse those that curse you. It's in the best interest of our nation to pray for and support Israel. It's in the best interest of every Christian to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. But God is at work. And friends, we are seeing Bible prophecy fulfilled before our very eyes. Coming back to what I said in the beginning, the Bible, it's the one book that dares to predict the future with 100% accuracy. Let me sum this all up in one final statement. Jesus Christ is coming back again.